What's up, guys? So this video is going to be talking about how I went from a lost 18-year-old, not knowing what to do in life, going through a lot of hardships, struggles, and getting to the point where I have now made millions by the age of 28 and doing it in a way I think almost anyone could. So this is going to be a very raw, genuine video. It's going to be first take. I'm just going to go straight through. I'm going to do my best to give my journey, my story, some things I would have maybe done differently, some mindset stuff that helped me throughout the journey. And I think it's going to be a great call for any of you watching this, whether you're younger, older, mid-age. I think you're going to get a lot from this, and it's going to help your life to move forward in a different path starting now. Okay, so we'll start off when I was, finishing up high school. So my senior year of high school, I already knew that college wasn't for me whatsoever, and I went to a really top high school. So a little background before we get into that is we were super poor, me and my mom, all the way up until the age of 12, like extremely poor. My mom had me around 16. I came out at 17, so she was super young. She dropped out of high school. In hindsight, she did the best she could, and very grateful for her. And she met someone who was my then stepdad who had a lot of money. And he dropped out of school, went to college at 16. Well, he didn't drop out. He went to college really young, became very successful very young. He was in software, but he had a very, very, very extreme mindset with how he wants to raise his kids. And it was where nothing whatsoever was handed to them. So even though my mom met someone, he had a ton of money, I got nothing. I had to get my own health insurance, my own phone, everything. Like, I didn't have a car till I was 18, so I'd go to school. I went to this top school where everyone had money. It was in Prosper, Texas, and it was a little embarrassing, and I think that's what shaped me to the person I am today, which we're going to get into. But it was really embarrassing because I would go to school, I didn't have a car, and it was really weird to not have a car there, and I had to do everything on my own. So people would always be like, oh, you have such a nice house, you guys are doing so well, and I'm like, that's his, it's not mine. And I always had that mindset young because nothing was handed to me. And they had multiple cars. I couldn't drive any of them. I couldn't use any of them, and I had to buy my own car. So at 18, I saved up $6,000 from 16 to 18 because I worked at fast food restaurants, and I got my first car, and that was one of the proudest moments of my life. Like, guys, proudest moments ever. Because I earned it. I did it. It was mine, right? Because I didn't feel like any of that stuff was mine. I didn't grow up feeling rich or anything because nothing was given to me. I had to buy everything, do everything. Like I said, guys, down to getting my own phone bill, health insurance, everything. And it was very extreme, and I'm very grateful for it looking back now. Now, was it a little extreme when I raised my kids that way? No. But it definitely shaped me into the person I am today, which when I get through my story, I definitely could probably reference it back to the way I was raised, from 12 to 18. So at 18, I was graduating, and a week before graduation, I actually moved out on my own. I was working at a restaurant. I was a server at 18. I thought I was making good money. I was making about $1,000 a week, right? It was a really poppin' restaurant. It was right next to the FC Dallas Stadium, the soccer stadium. So it would always be a lot of people. So I was food running from 17 to 18. 18, they bumped me up to a server. So I was making good money. Nothing was handed to me. I felt like none of that was mine, and he made it very apparent that none of it's mine, which once again, I'm not bashing him. It was just the way he chose to raise me. So right at 18, I was like, I'm moving out. So I literally, after work one day, drove over to an apartment complex across the street, showed them my bank statements, what I was making. They approved me, and a week before graduation, I moved out. So the second I was out of high school, I was living on my own. I got a few roommates, and one of the worst decisions ever, and a lot of lessons learned there, that you're gonna pull your weight a lot of the times and others aren't. So they took advantage of me. They didn't pay their bills. It got really bad, really scary. I was getting behind on a lot of bills, a lot of payments. The real world's way tougher than you think until you get out to it. Like, you think it's gonna be easy, you think it's gonna be this, and I was slapped in the face real hard. And this is the first mindset I wanna talk about. Us as men, nothing's gonna be handed to us. No one cares about you until you do things and you earn your place. And I learned that at 18, that no one's coming to save me, it's on me, and I had to make that happen. So at around 19, after a year of it just being shit, struggles, one day I was 10 minutes late to work across the street, 10 minutes. And I'm like, hey, so sorry guys, I'm 10 minutes late, I'm coming right now. And I had a perfect track record. And I was going through a little bad mindset right here, guys. This is why I woke up late, because I'm usually really dialed in, really good. And I was just going through a lot. I was getting behind on bills. I was starting to feel unhappy, depressed. Like, is this what I'm going to do in life? I'm going to be a server. And I was, I hate to use the word depressed, but I was really down. And woke up late because I was down. I wasn't on I wasn't on it like I usually am. And then they called me like, hey, we're actually going to let you go. And looking back, it was definitely a God thing, because at that moment, I felt like my world was falling apart. I was like, I'm behind on bills. I have 2 roommates that aren't paying their part. I'm going to lose everything. So in that moment, I was like, my only out right now is the military. So I reached out to the Coast Guard, and I guess looking back, it's really hard to get in the Coast Guard, I guess. And they got me in right away. When you're going into the military, they'll break your lease for you. So it kind of got me out of the hole I was in at that moment. Of course, I had to pay the back payments and stuff like that. But it got me out of that hole of breaking the lease, going into, more and more of a hole. And that's always how it's been. That's my second mindset thing, guys, is don't accept your situation. Like, if things start to get hard, you should be figuring out solutions, not dwelling in it, not being a victim in it. Because I was like, okay, just lost my job. I don't want to go get another server job. It's not going to fix anything. It's how I'm in this position now. I'm going to go to the military. I'm very young. I can go for a few years. It's going to get me back on my feet, and then I can get right back on my path. I'll still be very young. So got accepted into the Coast Guard, went through boot camp. Boot camp was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had in my life, because it was very hard. In the Coast Guard, not everyone makes it through. 60% of my class didn't make it through. It was kind of cool. They made a shirt with all of our names in the back, and we were the first company to do this. That's your class, where we crossed out all the names who didn't make it, right? And they got in trouble for that, the company commanders. But we did it, and I have the hoodie still. And I took a lot of pride in that, because that was the first time I think I did something that was really hard, where I didn't know if I was going to make it through, because I saw all the top people in my class not make it through, get sent back weeks, get sent home, all these different things, right? Or quit, because with the Coast Guard, they either send you back weeks a lot of times, and then people end up quitting because they're like, I'm never going to get out of this place, and their mindset's weak, right? So that was the first moment where I was like, damn, if I put my mind to something, I can freaking do it, right? So got through that, and then I got into the military. My first year was decent in the military, but that's when I learned real quickly that I did not want to be told what to do. That's when I learned I don't want to work for anyone. I don't want to be told what to do. That's the military. You're going to get micromanaged. And I started feeling that way. Started finding the gym, started working out. And one night, not proud of this, I went out and I was drinking. And on the way home, I flipped my car. It caught on fire. I left the scene for about 10 minutes because it was in my apartment complex. I walked back. And obviously there was a whole scene. It was like 2, 3 a.m. And I obviously went to jail for the night, or for about 6 hours. Now, was I super drunk? No. I was, I think, around the legal limit, but I was underage. So it was a big deal. I hit another car. It caught on fire. And this is where I had my really awakening. As awful as it was, I think we can either let our downfalls define us, or we can learn from them, right? And I really believe that. And the next day, obviously I was at the lowest point ever, but I also felt relieved. It was a weird feeling, because I knew that I'm going to get in a lot of trouble right now in the military. I'm going to get in a shit ton of trouble, but I also learned I'm never going to do some dumb shit like that ever again. I was like, cool. I just went through something very bad. It's going to be a lot of consequences, but now I'm not going to do some dumb shit like that in the future. And it almost felt like relieving. It was a weird way to explain it. I talked to the people, the parents of the girl's car I hit. Thank God there was no one in the car. Very, very unproud of what I did. And it literally taught me from that day forward to never do some dumb shit like that again. So I definitely learned from it. And still to this day, it definitely impacts my decision making. But they literally were like, we're just okay. We're happy you're okay. We're going to take care of this. It was a God thing. It was the weirdest thing ever. I destroyed their daughter's car. I was totally in the wrong, and they had all this grace for me. So that was where one of my first moments of really finding God as well. As weird as it sounds, because God's a massive part of my journey. So anyways, fast forward, I get in a lot of trouble in the military. I get in this thing, because there's like real jail, obviously, and there's like military jail, just to keep this simple, guys. So I had to go through court. A lot of the top people in the Coast Guard flew down for my case, and they wanted to make an example of me, right? Because in the military, they're real lenient with things. And with me, they're like, we're going to make an example of you. So I was in restriction to base for 30 days, but I didn't have to stay at base if I did everything properly. Weird to explain. And I was getting a lot of trouble. Like, it was one of those things where you might be getting kicked out, or you can decide to get out. And before getting to the point of me getting kicked out on paper, I was like, hey, I just want to get out. I just want to get out. I want to get out of the military. This was about, 2.5 years in. So with the Coast Guard, you can literally get out. It's not like the Army, the Marines, all that stuff. So I was like, no, I want to get out. I want to get out early. Because one, I was fed up with the military, because I was not treated well at the base. I love the job, guys. Coast Guard is incredible. If you're wanting to go military, go into the Coast Guard, go to the military. It's one of the best things young men can do. It creates discipline, but I had a really bad experience because the leader at my base was treated everyone like crap. And in that moment when I said, I want to get out, because obviously I probably wasn't going to get kicked out or anything, he looked at me and he said, you're never going to be anything in life. He said, this is what you had going for you. You're never going to be anything in life. And me and him actually got into it, which you're not allowed to do in the military. And I was like, who are you? Anyways, it turned into a thing. And then they had to send me to another base, right? So it went from this thing of you're restricted to base, you have to do some things. And it got way worse because he said those things to me and I snapped back a little, which once again, as a man, you got to be able to control your temper, learn from it. So I was sent to another base where I had to be restricted to base. I could not leave base for over 30 days. And that's when I really found fitness. Like I was working out, that was my escape, but that's when I really found fitness. Like where all I did was do my job, eat as much food as I can, and I would work out every night. And I got really big, really quick, and really strong, really quick, because that's all I was dedicated on. And once again, looking back, that's where I learned if you lock into something, guys, you can do a lot, right? So I was really locked into bettering myself, getting in better shape, and that's what I did. So then I get out, I go back to Vegas, and I'm like, I'm gonna take over the world. I'm gonna get ahead. And I go back to Vegas, where some of my family was. It's kind of couch surfing in a way, my dad's house, my aunt's house. And I started going out, started drinking. And I literally, one morning, I was smoking hookah with my cousin. And I was like, I'm not going down the right path right now. Like I told myself I'm gonna do something different. I come back to Vegas and I'm doing nothing different. So I call my mom who lives in Texas. And I'm like, hey mom, can I come out there for 6 months? All I'm gonna do is get a job. I'll pay, rent, and I'm gonna start pursuing YouTube and fitness. And she said, of course. So I move out because my mom at this point divorced the last individual with my now stepdad, which is an incredible person. And for those 6 months, I stayed true to that. So her building was on top of the gym, and where I got a job, the restaurant was across the street. So for 6 months, I stayed in this little bubble. I would go to work. I would do cardio in the morning, go to work, and then film all day and make YouTube videos for 6 months straight. And it's actually this YouTube right now. Those videos are private. I got it up to 5,000 subscribers. I did a show. I looked great. And I was like, okay, I'm disciplined now. I can go back to Vegas. I can trust myself. I'm not going to go down that same path. And then I moved back to Vegas. So guys, I want to stop the story here and make you guys realize you need to lock in. You need to look at your life and ask yourself, are you going down the right path right now? Because if the answer is no, if what you're currently doing isn't going to get you to where you want to be in the next 5 years, you need to change it. You need to be disciplined and do whatever it takes to get to that point. And I could not trust myself being in Las Vegas after the military. So I forced myself to go into solitude, work hard, and focus on my craft. And that's where my discipline was truly created. Because ever since that point, I've been locked in, guys. I've been locked in since that day forward. And I'm going to talk about how much your life will change when you're locked in, you're on your purpose, your passion, and that's all you're focused on. It'll change your life. It's the most rewarding, gratifying thing you'll ever do in your life. So I go back to Vegas. I have to get a job, of course. So I go work at the club. It was called Dre's Nightclub. I was a server assistant. I get the job, and I'm like looking at people, they're double my age, and I'm like, they're still here. I'm like, oof, I really got to get out of this. So one day at work, it was like 4 months in, and I was one of their top workers because from that discipline I created, anything I do, I'm going to give my 100%. I don't care if it's, making burgers in a fast food restaurant or running my own business. I'm going to give whatever I'm doing, I'm going to give my all. How you do one thing is how you do anything. That's the truest thing ever. So I gave the job my all. They wanted me to become like a lead, all this stuff within the first few months, which is like unheard of. And I slip and fall one day at work, and I fall hard, and I fall back, and it kind of hurts my shoulder a little, to the point where I can't work for at least 2 weeks. So I go to the doctors, they're like, you can't work. And I milked it, guys. I acted like I couldn't go back to work longer, and I used that moment to go to the gym down the street and become an in-person trainer. So to become an in-person trainer, you need a certification, and you need to pay rent if you want to be independent. So I went in there, they're like, it's $1,000 to start, and you need your certifications. So I gave them the $1,000, had no certifications yet, no clients yet. And by Monday, it was like Thursday, I had to prove my certification. So over the weekend, I get my ISSA, I knock it out, I prove it on Monday. I have no clients though. So what I did was I reached out to all my past coworkers that were women because I knew they had a lot of followers. This is where the entrepreneur comes in, guys. I was like, okay, if I have no clients, I'm gonna fake it till I make it. I was like, I hit them all up. I was like, hey guys, I wanna get back into training. Even though I never trained, I was like, I would love to give you a free session. All you need to do is post me on your story. And I will do this for like 3 days a week for the first few weeks. So I did that. I got a lot of the girls, like 5 to 10 of them. They all started posting me to their story, tagging me. And then all these women started hitting me up for coaching. And then all my free clients now were willing to pay me. All these new people were coming in. So within 1 month, I went from never doing this before to having over 30 clients. And trainers in the gym were literally like, I've never seen someone grow that quickly. And guys, it's not that hard to get ahead in things. You just have to think logically. If you want to start a new business, if you want to start something new, if you want to start in-person training, if you want to start online coaching, don't be scared to give it away for free at first. My fitness coach at the time told me that. He was like, take a lot of people on for free. You need to get experience. But I just took it one step further. Like, let's get people with a lot of followers, give them free, prove that I'm a coach, market me for free. Well, I guess it was my time, but market me and I should be able to get clients. And it worked. And then it got to a point, guys, my first year, I was doing 10 to 15,000 a month in person. I was training, Raiderettes, that's NFL cheerleaders. I had top influencers, always hitting me up. And from that, I started getting the bug for online. And then COVID happened. Once COVID happened, guys, that's when I really pivoted, because as entrepreneurs, we pivot. What do you think most people did during COVID? Ooh, I'm gonna relax, I'm gonna get my stimulus checks, I'm gonna do nothing. Me, I was like, okay, how can I capitalize on this? Okay, everyone's at home right now. No one can go to the gym. I was like, I'm gonna launch an at-home subscription-based thing where every single day you get a workout sent to you. You can do it at home. You don't need equipment. You get full videos. And I made it $25. Within like 2 weeks, I got 200 clients. It was funny. I was literally texting it out every single day to 200 people. I would film a workout every morning. I would edit it, make a little PDF of the workout. I would even do things like add water jugs on the side of a broomstick for certain workouts. But anyways, that went on for about 3 months, and I was making good money from that. And it taught me a lot. It was like, you can always move with the times, guys. There's always a way. There's always an effing way. While everyone was doing nothing, taking their stimulus check, getting comfortable, I was figuring out how to get ahead. And that turned into, right when COVID was over, I was like, I don't want to do in-person anymore. I went back to in-person for about a month, and I was like, screw this. So I quit overnight. I said goodbye to, making over 100,000 a year in in-person coaching to zero online. Once going online, I could not figure out shit, guys. I was like, this is way harder than I thought. I thought it was gonna be easy because during COVID, obviously I didn't give up because I have this thing called a slight ego where I told everyone I'm quitting, all my clients, all my friends. So I was like, if I go back, how are they gonna view me as a quitter? And that was the same thing when I moved out, guys, because when I first moved out, after the first 6 months, I so bad wanted to pick up my phone, call my mom and say, Mom, I'm coming back. But I knew if I do that, I'm quitting on myself and I'll never grow into the person I need to be. So in that moment, when things started getting hard, I had $12,500 in my bank account. An ad popped up and it was someone saying, hey, you can make money online as an online coach. I was like, well, what do I have to lose at this point? He checked out, he got good results, his clients got good results. I was like, well, if they could do it, I can fucking do it. Hit him up, got on a call, $12,000. I have $500 left. I have bills. I have a significant other at the time. I have pets, and I spent all my money. And guys, this is the next lesson. Bet on yourself. Be willing to invest in yourself. And I'm not just saying this is some sales thing because I train and coach people. You need to fucking bet on yourself. Like, at bare minimum, it's gonna build the confidence that you were willing to take a risk. Because if you can never take a damn risk or bet on yourself, you're not gonna get anywhere in life. And if you don't believe me, where are you right now? Because you probably had the itch to wanna reach out to someone, get help from someone, and you didn't, and you're still where you are. The only reason I started moving quickly, which I'm gonna explain, was because I got uncomfortable and invested in myself. That's it, that's why. One, they had the blueprint of exactly what I need to do. And I just went all in on myself and I said, I'm gonna effing make this work. I'm willing to spend all my money because I know I'm gonna make it happen. Was it scary? Of course. Was it nerve-wracking? Of course. Did I slightly get buyer's remorse? Of course. But I shut that shit off and I said, I'm gonna give it my all. Within 3 months, I went from zero online to making over 50,000 a month. Within my first year, I made over 500 grand. And this is someone who started from zero, spent all their money, was starting to go down to rock bottom, and I made it happen, guys. And that was the best decision I've ever made in my life, was investing in myself, getting a coach. And from that point, I probably spent $100,000 on coaching to this point. I'll continue to do so. It always gets you ahead because you're getting other people's knowledge a lot quicker. Instead of trying to figure shit out, now you have the exact blueprint, what to do, so you don't have to waste a year, time, energy, resources when you can get the answers within a week. That's always been my cheat code, guys. And now I have all that knowledge that I take forever with me. So if you're scared, if you're sitting here and you want to be a hairdresser, go to fucking school. If you want to become an online coach, find someone who's gotten the results you want, has clients who provenly got results, and you vibe with them. You have the same values, you have the same mindset, and pay them. If you're already low at a low point, guys, what's going a little lower going to do? You have nothing to lose. You have only things to gain. Yeah, guys, that's something I'm huge about. Anyways, so I go online, I start getting a lot of success. 3 years go by, I make millions of dollars. I have a video about that on my YouTube if you want to go watch it. I give a little more details. This is more of my story. But I make around 2.5 million in a few years. And at that point, a lot of people start reaching out to me, wanting help to do the same thing. Long story short, I do that for about 8 months. I take on about 10 people. I got one guy over 500,000 his first year, starting from zero. I helped multiple, break 30,000 a month within their first few months, starting from zero. And I was like, I'm good at this. And I started finding a lot of passion in it. And I think life's all about stepping stones, right? I never want to stay exactly where I'm at. So I was like, this might be the next route for me. So February of last year, 2024, whenever you're watching this, it might not be last year anymore. I go all in with my company called Be Your Own Boss. We start from zero. I give up making over $1 million a year with my fitness company because I believe going all in. I didn't want to try to run both. I said, I'm going to just go all in with this. I learned from the past. When you go all in on things, it works. I went all in when I went back to my mom. I went all in when I quit my job to do in-person coaching. I went all in from in-person to online. And I'm like, history has shown if I go all in on something, I make it work because my back's against the wall. And I'm not telling you, sit here, quit your job, go all in. Will that probably make it where you make it happen? Yes. Be smart about it. But my point is, you got to believe in yourself. And I'm now 4 for 4. I'm just believing in myself and having delusional belief in myself. So fast forward to today, I've now helped hundreds of people. We've had multiple events. We've given out over 50 awards. We have a thriving community. If you go to my Instagram, I have hundreds of highlights of social proof showing people who took their passion for fitness, going online as a coach. And the thing that's unique about us is we primarily work with brand new people. People who've never done coaching, who've never made posts, nothing. Starting from zero. The amount of people we've helped hit over 10,000 their first month is countless at this point. And once again, it's not even about the results. It's not about any of that. It's about if you have a goal, if you want to change your life, you can change it. There's endless ways are all around us. And this is one of the last things I want to talk about. It's shiny object syndrome. I want you guys to notice from when I was 22 to 28, 6 years now, I have not deviated my path whatsoever. I found the gym when I was getting out of the military. I got out and was still pursuing it because I moved back and that's all I was focused on. It then transformed into me training people in person, to then training people online, to then helping other fitness professionals build businesses. I've been on the same path. I didn't get 1 year in and say, oh, maybe I should do e-commerce. Maybe I should do trading. Year 2, it's getting a little hard. Maybe I should go try to start another business. No, guys, you got to stay dialed in and focus on one path because you can become very successful with any path if you get good at it and you give it time and you water the plant. I learned this from Alex Hormozi, and one of the things that got me to where I am today, it wasn't anything Alex Hormozi said. I don't remember who it was, but it was a billionaire, and he said, it's easy to be successful because everyone quits. It's the truest thing ever, guys. Everyone quits. Everyone that was around me when I started quit. They're not doing this anymore. All the people who are successful in my academy, they were just people who were unwilling to quit. They had a hard first 3 months. They didn't quit. They didn't give up. Now they're making $30,000 a month. So I can tell you this right now, you will be successful in whatever it is you do that has been proven to work as long as you don't quit. They even say, guys, with YouTube, the average person who has 100,000 subscribers wasn't a certain amount of views. It was a certain amount of uploads. It was the person that pushed through, didn't quit, and was consistent. So guys, that is my story. And I just wanted to share that with you. So hopefully it can motivate you. Hopefully you can learn some lessons from it. But to break it down into a little piece here at the end is you got to believe in yourself. You got to bet on yourself. And you got to be resilient and understand that we're supposed to go through shit. I would not be the person I am today if I didn't go through any of those things. I would not be the person that can lead others and help others if I didn't go through shit that I had to get through. When you're going through shit, do not be a victim. Embrace it. Know it's supposed to happen. I'm learning from this. This is going to turn me into the best version of myself. And trust in that, guys, because too many people, they'll be going through shit and they throw in the towel, they give up, they're a victim, they start drinking, they start doing bad things. You got to realize those patterns and you got to make different choices to have a different outcome. Don't keep falling into the same pitfall, same pitfall, same pitfall. Put your shoes on, find a path, and be focused on growth. Be focused on yourself. Be focused on getting ahead, okay? So that is my story, guys. That is how I went from where I was at 18 to now a person who makes millions by the age of 28. And I can tell you this, guys, I'm just getting started. I'm super excited for this YouTube. This YouTube is going to be giving away all the secrets. I primarily help with online businesses and health and fitness, service-based businesses, meaning you have a passion for fitness and you want to provide a service of fitness coaching online. I help people do that. You can make loads of money doing it, but more importantly than that, you can become your own boss doing that. Actually look forward to your days, work from wherever, and not have to answer to anyone and ask to go to the damn bathroom. So if you guys have any questions, just reach out to me on Instagram. Let me know you came from this YouTube video. If you want to apply to work with us or you want to get more info, click the link below. There will be an application. Just put on there that you were sent from YouTube. DM me on Instagram. I'm pretty good about responding to people. I hope that helped, guys. Have a blessed day.